Hi, you guys. Good morning. So, today I wanted to talk about a new topic about fixed versus variable expenses. Now, if you have no idea what that means, that's okay. You're in good hands. So, I think the hardest part about doing a budget is understanding that there's two types of expenses. You have your fixed expenses, and some examples of your fixed expenses are going to be your rent, your cell phone bill, if you're on a plan and don't, have like any variance in that bill, cable bill if you have it, your rent or your mortgage, your HOA. Trying to think if you have any kind of bill that you have, maybe you could say like a credit card payment or a car payment. That one just depends if you're putting more on that balance or not, then it's kind of variable. But at the end of the day, it has a fixed expense because at the end of the day, the minimum is the same every month. Well, and then once you pay it down, it kind of could go down as well. So that one kind of depends. But yeah, so there's such a thing as fixed expenses, and then there's variable expenses. Now, the variable expenses are essentially what you pay every month that you have to pay for, but it's not the same amount every month. So an example could be your gas. So gas. Another example is your groceries. Another example is birthdays for the month. We do something called, we just put a category spending money, so that way we know this is how much extra we have to spend for the month for anything. And so, okay, so those are the two different types of expenses. Now, how does that apply to your budget, and why does that make it kind of hard? So it makes it kind of hard because if you're not tracking your variable expenses, those expenses that are changing every month, then you don't have any idea how much extra money you have a month to even put towards your debt. How are you going to know, I have $200 to put towards my debt, if you have no idea how much you're spending in gas, how much you're spending on birthdays and going out to eat and shopping and groceries and everything like that? So what I do and what I have done for years now is I have a budget laid out for me. It stays the same every month. Some people, change their budget every month. I have mine stay the same. I do it for a 4-week period. Even though some months have 5 weeks, I still just do 4 weeks across the board. And I include 2 pay periods. And because that's how many times I get paid in a month is twice. And some people, you can get paid 3 times in there's 2 months out of the year where you get paid 3 times. My job, they split it up to where we're getting paid like 86 hours a week. A pay cycle. So we really only get paid twice a year. Twice a month. Anyhow, so I include 2 pay cycles, and then I include 4 weeks of expenses. So I include, obviously all the bills for the month. I list those out. And then I total that up. Okay, so how much is my fixed expense? And then the next section, I have my variable expenses in there. I put gas, I put groceries, and I put spending money. So gas, I give myself $40 a week, and then I times that by 4, so it's $160 a month. And then for groceries, we do $65 a week. And that's because it's not only our food, but it's also our household items. So if I need to get toilet paper, if I need to get paper towels, anything that we use for the household is included in that total. So we do 65, and that's between me and my boyfriend. We both put 65 a week towards all the food items and all the household items. I used to separate that out a long time ago, and then it just kind of got too much. Like, you don't want your budget to overwhelm you, because that's when you're going to shut down and say forget it. So, and then the third item I would do would be my spending money. So I give myself $50 a week for spending money, and I can use it on anything that I want. That can go towards if I want to eat out. That can go towards if I want some makeup products or if I want kitchen products, you know. So that's what I do, and that's $200 a month. So what I do is I add up all the fixed expenses, total that up, and then all the variable expenses for the month, total that up, and then combine those two together, and then that's my total expenses for the month. And then I look at my pay stubs. Okay, what am I actually taking home every pay cycle? And then I times that by 2, and that's my income for the month. So then I take my total income minus my total expenses, and let's say I have an extra, $500. Well, geez, that's amazing. And then I can, shove that all onto my debt. There's also a second budget you can do for yearly expenses. So you can do a monthly budget and you could do a yearly budget. And I think that's a really good idea to do that, because what do you have to pay every year? You got to pay car registration. You have to pay Christmas gifts. You have to pay birthday presents for your family or your kids or your significant other. Maybe you want to spend a certain amount on clothing every year. You want to take vacations, there's all different kinds of things you could also put on that yearly budget. So that way, not only do you have your monthly budget with your, $50 spending money or whatever you want to put, but you also have a yearly budget and you have money set aside for those expenses. So that way, when it's September or October, you're not freaking out like, oh my God, how am I going to buy all these Christmas presents? Or your car registration comes around, oh my God, how am I going to pay for my car registration? Or maybe you need to do maintenance like every 2-3 months on your car, or at least the oil change, or any kind of expenses that you have that do do reoccur, but maybe they're not every month. Maybe they're every 2 months or once a year or whatever. So you want that separate budget as well. And I would have 2 different bank accounts for that information. So you're going to have one bank account just for your yearly expenses, one bank account for your monthly expenses. So I have so much more I can say on that topic, but I don't want to get too complicated. I can split it up into multiple videos so it doesn't get too overwhelming. But just to kind of wrap it up, so your monthly variable expenses would be car insurance, rent, cell phone bill, cable, internet bill, maybe if you have a car bill or credit card bills, things of that nature. And then your variable expenses are going to be your gas money, your groceries, your spending money, your fun money. And I definitely don't think that people should just, not have any fun at all. But I think that if you budget it out and you plan for it, then that's just fine, So it just depends upon what you consider fun, how much are you spending, and I'll do a whole separate video on how to have cheap fun, because we have found a lot of ways to really enjoy ourselves on a budget. So yeah, so that's the information for today. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can put them in the comments section and I'll be happy to go into more detail. I also have budgeting spreadsheets that are on my website, budgetgirlkylie.com. So if you go there, I have budgeting worksheets for you guys as well. So thank you. Have a great day.